Welcome, one and all, in here, out there, to The Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. Today is... Thank you very much. Yes. Lovely greeting. Today is, of course, National Prayer Day. Seems like National Prayer Day comes earlier every year. Yeah, right. I saw a church that had its prayer decorations up like 2 months ago. It's getting so commercialized. This morning, Trump attended a prayer breakfast where he quoted Christ's parable on the Mueller witch hunt.
People say, how do you get through that whole stuff? How do you go through those witch hunts and everything else? And you know what we do, Mike? We just do it, right? And we think about God.
Yes. We just do it. And as I remember where I am right now, think about God. The little pink bunny with a big bass drum, cool sunglasses. He just keeps going, God.
Trump touched on this country's #1 spiritual concern, mall signage.
When I first started campaigning, people were not allowed, or in some cases, foolishly ashamed, to be using on stores, Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas. They'd say Happy Holidays. They'd have red walls, and you'd never see Christmas. That was 4 years ago. Take a look at your stores nowadays. It's all Merry Christmas again. Merry Christmas again. They're proud of it.
Yes. Yes, it's true. Go to any mall in America right now, and it is Christmas. We are proudly getting ready for our Yuletime cookouts and our Noel fireworks displays and our nativity pool parties, kids selling mulled lemonade on the street corners, you know. Christmas. Then the president quoted from the Bible.
And as God promises in the Bible, those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on the wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. And they will walk and not be faint. And that's something that Mike and I think about all the time. Right, Mike?
He has never read one word of the Bible before. Let's go on past this. Let's go past this. Let's go past this.
They will, and lo, the good Samaritan. And then a guy named Jesus did something. Jesus.
I don't know about you, but my head is still spinning from yesterday's Senate testimony of Attorney General William Barr, seen here thrilling attendees with his one-man fiddler on the roof. Obstruction! Obstruction! Barr's performance yesterday angered a lot of Democrats, especially California Senator Kamala Harris.
I think he should resign. I think he should resign. I think he should resign.
Kamala Harris believes in the old urban legend that if you say, I think he should resign 3 times, Bill Barr then appears in your mirror and does not resign. Democrats are especially upset that Barr lied to Congress. Specifically, we now know that Bob Mueller sent a letter to Barr complaining about Barr's summary of Mueller's report on March 27th. But 2 weeks later, on April 10th, Barr said this in sworn testimony.
Did Bob Mueller support your conclusion?
I don't know whether Bob Mueller supported my conclusion.
Okay, that might seem contradictory, but I know what's going on here. He is lying. And House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is not pleased.
What is deadly serious about it is the Attorney General of the United States of America was not telling the truth to the Congress of the United States. That's a crime.
Yes, when the Attorney General lies to Congress, it is a crime. When the President does it, it is the State of the Union. And she... Solid joke. Family joke. And she drove her point home.
He lied to Congress. He lied to Congress. If anybody else did that, it would be considered a crime. Nobody is above the law, not the President of the United States and not the Attorney General. Being the Attorney General does not give you a bath to go say whatever you want.
No. Being Attorney General does not give William Barr a bath. And even if it did, please do not bring cameras in there. Closed session. Anyway, Barr lied to the Senate, and today he was scheduled to lie to the House of Representatives. But he did not show up. That did not stop House Democrats, who led the hearing anyway and grilled an empty chair. Now, here's the thing. Bill Barr used to be a respected, highly trained lawyer. What the heck happened to him? Well, there's a theory out there and a new op-ed from former FBI director and man who can't believe you showed up to testify in that suit, James Comey. Comey says that once you sign on to work for Trump, it's extraordinarily difficult to keep your integrity. It starts with your sitting silent while he lies, both in public and private, making you complicit by your silence. And if you don't do anything, eventually Mr. Trump eats your soul in small bites. Just small bites. Small bites. It's like tapas. It's like,
I tell you what, let's get a plate of the grilled octopus and maybe a little side plate of Bill Barr's moral compass. Tastes like chicken. I'm sorry. I mean, tastes like coward.
Comey writes that the only way to get near this administration and avoid having your soul being eaten is to be like James Mattis, the former Secretary of Defense, who resigned over principle. Unlike Comey, who, I gotta point out, did not resign. He was fired. Evidently, Trump did not want to eat Comey's soul. I'm guessing it was a vegetable. Now, Comey explains in his op-ed that silently agreeing with Trump in private leads to public displays of personal fealty, where you use his language, praise his leadership, and tout his commitment to values. And then you are lost. He has eaten your soul. And then, along with several Diet Coke-soaked cheeseburgers, your soul makes the journey through Trump's digestive tract and is eventually excreted. And then you're Stephen Miller. Quick. Long walk for Toro Wilson. Based on true story. True story.